Sensors in Sector 17 of the Helion Expanse picked up a massive energy signature moving at incredible speed. The detection was unusual, even for deep space monitoring satellites. A strange, dark fleet was approaching Earth, unlike anything humanity had encountered before. Alarms blared across every space command center on Earth, from the orbital stations to military bunkers scattered across continents. Every operator and scientist rushed to analyze the incoming threat, trying to understand its scale and intent. The Zarnoth Empire had long been rumored as a fearsome alien civilization, known across multiple galaxies for conquering planets with swift and overwhelming force. Their ships were said to be nearly indestructible, outfitted with energy shields that could absorb conventional weaponry, and weapons that could obliterate cities in seconds. Earth had always been considered a minor, insignificant planet in the grand scale of the universe. But now, humanity's homeworld was directly in the path of one of the most powerful fleets in the galaxy. On the USS Horizon, Earth's flagship orbiting just above the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Sarah Mitchell studied the data streaming in from long-range sensors. Her eyes scanned the holographic displays, showing hundreds of dots moving faster than light toward Earth. She could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on her shoulders. Any mistake could mean annihilation for billions of people. Every second counted, and there was no time for error. Across the planet, the Global Defense Council convened an emergency session. Leaders from every nation joined via secure video links. Their faces were tense, some pale with fear. Others tried to maintain composure, knowing the world was watching them for guidance. Debates flared immediately. Some argued for launching immediate defensive strikes, while others warned that provoking the aliens could trigger immediate retaliation. The Council had never faced anything of this magnitude before, and the uncertainty created tension that could be felt even through the screens. Admiral Mitchell's voice cut through the chaos aboard the Horizon, coordinating with Captain Raj Patel of the USS Vanguard and Lieutenant Elena Torres of the USS Sentinel. She instructed the pilots to prepare for rapid deployment, even as scientists scrambled to run simulations predicting every possible outcome of a confrontation. Civilians were being alerted, sirens blaring in cities and towns, evacuation procedures were readied for major population centers. Humanity had never mobilized on such a scale before. Meanwhile, deep space monitoring arrays detected subtle anomalies in the fleet's approach. The ships moved with precision, almost as if they were aware of every defensive maneuver humans had in place. Commander Vraxar, leading the Zarnoth fleet aboard the Oblivion, was known for his tactical genius. His reputation struck fear across multiple star systems. And now, he had chosen Earth as the next target, his ships stretching across the sky like a dark storm cloud ready to unleash devastation. Military strategists studied the data, noting the fleet's composition. The Dreadnought, Voidbreaker, and Oblivion formed the core strike force. Each ship was enormous, dwarfing any vessel humans had ever built. They bristled with energy weapons capable of destroying cities in a single strike. Pilots began rehearsing defense formations, running simulations in virtual space, while technicians ensured every missile, laser, and defense drone was operational. Earth had to rely on strategy, ingenuity, and speed to survive. As the minutes ticked by, tension on Earth escalated. Every report from radar and sensor arrays was analyzed multiple times. The world's media broadcasted emergency alerts, urging calm while showing footage of the approaching fleet. Fear and awe swept across the population. People stared at the sky and wondered how humanity could possibly survive an attack from such an overwhelmingly powerful force. Yet amid the panic, there was also a flicker of determination, a sense that humans would fight with every resource they had. Admiral Mitchell reviewed the intelligence one last time before issuing her orders. The Horizon, Vanguard, Sentinel, and supporting vessels moved into defensive positions, their crews bracing for the first contact that could change history forever. Scientists activated portions of Project Aegis, a secret defense system that had never been tested in real combat. Its purpose was to harness the planet's energy and AI coordination to create a shield powerful enough to challenge the Zarnoth fleet. But no one knew if it would work against such an advanced enemy. Every eye in the control rooms across Earth was fixed on the incoming fleet. The Zarnoth Empire was no myth. Its reputation for conquering worlds was real. And now, for for the first time, humanity faced the ultimate test of survival. The countdown to contact had begun, and the seconds stretched like hours. Every heartbeat carried the weight of billions. Every decision could be the difference between survival and complete annihilation. The dark shapes of the Zarnoth fleet appeared above Earth's atmosphere, their enormous warships stretching across the sky like a living shadow. The three main vessels, Oblivion, Dreadnought, and Voidbreaker, glowed with ominous purple energy. Each ship bristled with weapons that humans had never seen in action. The sheer size and presence of the fleet caused panic and awe simultaneously. Across the planet, satellites and telescopes captured every moment, broadcasting images of the alien armada to millions of civilians. Cities paused as people stared upward, unable to comprehend the scale of the incoming threat. On the USS Horizon, Admiral Sarah Mitchell studied the fleet's formation, her holographic display showing hundreds of smaller support ships flanking the main vessels. Captain Raj Patel aboard the Vanguard observed the alien ships with a mix of fear and determination. Every system aboard the human ships was prepared for engagement, and yet the humans knew their technology was far weaker than the Zarnoths. Lieutenant Elena Torres of the Sentinel ran simulations, calculating trajectories and energy signatures. Trying to find any weakness in the enemy fleet, she noted that the ships moved with precision, their patterns almost too perfect to be random. The Zarnoth fleet's arrival was marked by a silent, terrifying calm. No communication came from Commander Vraxar or his forces. Only the hum of alien engines and the glow of energy shields. Humans felt the pressure of being observed, as though the fleet was evaluating whether Earth was worth the effort of destruction. Military analysts reported the fleet's speed and trajectory, confirming that any human offensive strike would likely be futile against the main vessels. The defensive satellites fired test beams at the outer ships, only to see them absorbed harmlessly by shimmering energy shields. It became clear that direct attacks would be ineffective, forcing humans to think differently. The smaller support ships of the Zarnoth fleet moved in precise formations, scanning Earth with advanced sensors. Each pulse of energy created ripples in the planet's magnetic field, and technicians aboard human ships struggled to interpret the data. The humans realized that the fleet was not just a force of destruction, but also a tactical scouting operation. Commander Vraxar was gathering information, preparing for a full-scale strike. Meanwhile, the crew aboard the Vanguard and Sentinel adjusted their formations to mirror possible defensive positions. Despite the fear, every pilot and officer focused on coordination, knowing that unity could be their only chance. Across Earth, civilian reactions varied. Some panicked and rushed to shelters. Others watched live feeds in fascination and fear. Governments imposed emergency curfews and broadcasted warnings. Schools and businesses closed, and hospitals prepared for mass casualties. But scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, trying to activate and stabilize Project Aegis, a secret defense system designed to harness the planet's energy to counter alien technology. Every calculation mattered, and every second of delay could have catastrophic consequences. Admiral Mitchell issued orders to engage in a defensive posture, not direct confrontation. The human ships would focus on protecting major cities and orbital installations, while the AI defense system attempted to interfere with the alien fleet's energy fields. Captain Raj and Lieutenant Torres communicated constantly, relaying updates about ship positions and energy readings. Coordination between the vessels was critical, and even minor mistakes could lead to devastating losses. Every crew member was aware of the stakes, knowing that this encounter might decide the fate of the planet. As the Zarnoth ships positioned themselves above the equator, the sun reflected off their metallic hulls, casting eerie shadows across Earth's surface. The main vessel, Oblivion, emitted a low hum, vibrating through the atmosphere. The smaller craft performed maneuvers that demonstrated both intelligence and aggression. Humans could only speculate about the capabilities of such advanced technology. Scientists aboard Earth's orbital stations noticed that the alien energy shields responded almost instantly to any incoming signal, showing that traditional weapons would have no effect. It became a test of human ingenuity and resilience rather than raw firepower. On the ground, news broadcasts kept civilians informed, urging calm while emphasizing the bravery and preparedness of the human fleet. People watched as the Horizon, Vanguard, and Sentinel coordinated defensive movements, and a sense of cautious hope began to emerge. Despite the terrifying presence of the Zarnoth fleet, humans were determined to protect their planet. The knowledge that Earth's secret weapon, Project Aegis, was still online provided a glimmer of optimism. It was a silent promise that humanity had not come unprepared. The alien fleet remained ominously still for several minutes, as though evaluating Earth's defenses. Every radar sweep and satellite reading was analyzed by hundreds of human operators. The Zarnoth ships were perfect, deadly, and unpredictable, but humans were ready to meet them with strategy, coordination, and determination. The countdown to the first contact had begun, and every human pilot and officer knew that this moment would define history. Earth's fate rested on the next actions of both humans and aliens. Admiral Sarah Mitchell gathered the top commanders and scientists aboard the USS Horizon. The situation was critical, and every decision had to be precise. Captain Raj Patel and Lieutenant Elena Torres stood ready at their stations, monitoring the incoming data from the Zarnoth fleet. Military strategists debated the best course of action. Some advocated for launching a full-scale attack with the available ships, while others warned that any direct confrontation could result in catastrophic losses. Every officer knew the humans were technologically outmatched. The alien fleet's energy shields and weaponry were far superior to anything Earth had ever produced. Scientists presented their findings on Project Aegis, a highly classified defense system that had been in development for years. It was designed to harness the planet's magnetic field, energy grids, and advanced AI to create a defensive network capable of countering even the most advanced alien technology. Project Aegis had never been tested in a real combat situation, and there was no guarantee it would work as intended. Activating it now carried enormous risk, yet it might be humanity's only hope of surviving the Zarnoth onslaught. Admiral Mitchell listened carefully, weighing every possibility. Knowing that hesitation could cost billions of lives, on the bridge of the Horizon, operators worked furiously, tracking the exact position and movement of the Zarnoth ships. Oblivion, Dreadnought, and Voidbreaker moved with terrifying precision. Each ship seemed to anticipate human defensive maneuvers. The smaller Zarnoth vessels performed coordinated sweeps around Earth, scanning for weaknesses. Every sensor reading was analyzed multiple times, and tactical plans were adjusted in real time. Captain Raj coordinated with other human ships, forming defensive patterns that could potentially funnel the alien fleet into predictable paths, while Lieutenant Torres calculated energy field projections and potential strike points. Debate raged among the human leaders. Some argued that waiting could allow the aliens to strike first, but a premature attack might reveal critical weaknesses in Earth's defenses. Others insisted that Project Aegis should be activated immediately, even though its effects were uncertain. The tension in the command room was palpable. Every second that passed without action felt like an eternity. Humanity's future hung in the balance, and every mind focused on finding a solution that could save the planet. Meanwhile, civilians on Earth were on high alert. Governments broadcasted emergency messages, schools were closed, public gatherings suspended, and hospitals were prepared for mass casualties. Despite the fear, there was a quiet determination among the population. People hoped that the leaders and military forces could rise to the challenge. Every broadcast reminded citizens that the humans had faced crises before, but nothing on this scale. The presence of the alien fleet was a constant reminder that Earth was under threat from forces far beyond human understanding. Admiral Mitchell made the decision to initiate a partial deployment of Project Aegis. Scientists worked at top speed to stabilize the system, feeding live data from satellites, energy grids, and magnetic field monitors into the AI. The system began to generate a network of defensive pulses around the planet. Each pulse designed to disrupt incoming enemy sensors and weaken energy shields. Technicians monitored every fluctuation, aware that a single miscalculation could render the system useless, or worse, trigger an unintended catastrophe. Human ships moved into position to protect major cities and orbital stations. The Vanguard, Sentinel, and supporting vessels formed a coordinated defensive perimeter. Their role was not to destroy the alien fleet, but to buy time and protect critical infrastructure while Project Aegis worked. Pilots executed precise maneuvers, constantly adjusting based on sensor readings and AI projections. The coordination between the fleet and the AI system became a delicate dance, requiring perfect timing and trust in both human skill and advanced technology. As the Zarnoth fleet continued to approach, Commander Vraxar observed the humans with analytical eyes. The aliens had yet to understand the full extent of Project Aegis, and their systems were beginning to experience minor disruptions. On the horizon, Admiral Mitchell noted the first signs that the AI pulses were interacting with the alien energy shields. Small fluctuations in the shields suggested that the experimental system was working, albeit slowly. Confidence among the human crews grew. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, the possibility of survival seemed real. Every second that passed brought the fleets closer to confrontation. Human nerves were stretched tight, yet focus remained unbroken. Captain Raj communicated with all vessels, ensuring that formations were maintained. Lieutenant Torres updated Admiral Mitchell on energy field stability. Every human aboard the fleet knew that success depended not on brute force, but on strategy, precision, and trust in technology. The stage was set for the coming battle, and Earth's defenders braced for a confrontation that would test humanity's ingenuity and courage to the limits. Commander Vraxar gave the order from the bridge of the Oblivion, his voice calm but filled with authority. The Zarnoth fleet unleashed their first wave of attacks, energy beams streaking across the sky toward Earth's major cities and orbital stations. The hum of the alien weapons filled the atmosphere, sending shivers through every human operator monitoring the assault. The Dreadnought fired multiple plasma cannons, while the Voidbreaker launched guided energy missiles. Each strike designed to test human defenses to see how quickly Earth could respond. On the USS Horizon, Admiral Sarah Mitchell watched the displays intently. Orders came fast and precise, directing the Vanguard, Sentinel, and support vessels to intercept and mitigate the incoming attacks. Captain Raj Patel calculated the trajectories of the alien weapons, deploying countermeasures in real time. Lieutenant Elena Torres monitored shield fluctuations and energy readings, noticing anomalies that suggested the alien weapons were not hitting their targets as expected. There was confusion aboard the human fleet, but also a glimmer of hope. Something about Project Aegis was affecting the enemy. Satellites above Earth recorded the first strange interactions. The beams from the Zarnoth fleet flickered and bent slightly, as though something invisible was interfering with their sensors and targeting systems. Scientists on the orbital stations analyzed the data, confirming that Project Aegis had started interacting with the alien shields. Even small pulses were causing disruptions in weapon calibration. Commander Vraxar's voice grew tense as reports from his officers indicated minor failures across the fleet. The human defense system was working in ways the aliens could not immediately understand. The smaller Zarnoth ships attempted to adjust, performing evasive maneuvers and retargeting calculations, but every adjustment was countered by Project Aegis. The AI system predicted their movements and emitted pulses that interfered with their energy sensors. Human pilots noticed that the alien ships appeared to hesitate mid-flight, as if unsure how to proceed. Captain Raj relayed instructions to all vessels to maintain defensive positions and avoid unnecessary aggression. The humans focused on survival and observation, knowing that direct confrontation could be fatal. As the battle unfolded, beams from the Oblivion struck near Earth's atmosphere, causing bright flashes and minor shockwaves. Yet no major damage occurred. The humans realized that the energy pulses generated by Project Aegis were deflecting and absorbing the attacks. Lieutenant Torres highlighted areas where fluctuations were strongest. These were the regions where the alien sensors were most disrupted. The AI system was essentially neutralizing the enemy weapons without a single human strike. Every crew member on the human fleet watched in disbelief as technology turned the tide before any physical engagement. Commander Vraxar attempted new strategies, ordering the Dreadnought to focus fire on the largest cities, hoping sheer firepower would overwhelm the defense system. But each strike failed. The beams either dissipated harmlessly or shifted away from their intended targets. On board the Horizon, Admiral Mitchell coordinated the fleet's maneuvers, ensuring that all human ships maintained optimal alignment with Project Aegis pulses. Every adjustment was critical. Every second counted. The humans were learning quickly, adapting as the alien fleet tried and failed repeatedly. The Zarnoth's smaller craft attempted flanking maneuvers, trying to bypass the pulses and target vulnerable areas, but the AI network was already anticipating these moves, emitting secondary pulses that disrupted navigation systems and targeting sensors. Even Commander Vraxar could not predict the AI's behavior. For the first time, the alien commander experienced frustration, uncertainty, and fear. This hesitation allowed the human ships to move with more confidence. Pilots adjusted formations and focused on protecting critical points. While scientists fine-tuned the system to maximize interference, civilians across Earth watched live feeds of the sky, seeing flashes of energy and alien ships wobbling in their paths. Fear began to mix with amazement. Humanity was witnessing a defense succeed without a direct strike. Project Aegis was proving its worth. A silent guardian operating in perfect harmony with human strategy. The first contact, meant to be devastating, instead became a moment of revelation. That Earth's ingenuity, unity, and preparation could match an enemy thought to be invincible. Commander Vraxar's frustration grew as more ships faltered. The Voidbreaker lost power in multiple systems, communication links failed intermittently, and energy shields flickered. The humans recognized this as the turning point. They continued to monitor, adjust, and coordinate with the AI system. Knowing that patience and precision were now their greatest weapons, every pilot, officer, and scientist was aware that this strange, almost invisible defense could be the key to survival. The first contact had begun, but instead of chaos, it became a silent battle of strategy and intellect. Deep within Earth, Project Aegis began to reach its full potential. The AI network, linked with the planet's magnetic field and orbital energy arrays, generated a massive harmonized pulse that spread across the atmosphere. The pulse interacted directly with the Zarnoth fleet's systems, disrupting their sensors, shields, and communication networks. Ships that had once moved with terrifying precision now wavered in their trajectories. Commander Vraxar barked orders from the Bridge of the Oblivion, but the signals were delayed, garbled, and sometimes failed entirely. Alien pilots struggled to regain control, their systems malfunctioning in ways they could not predict. On board the USS Horizon, Admiral Sarah Mitchell watched the energy readings spike. The AI pulses were causing fluctuations in the enemy ship's energy shields, making them vulnerable. Captain Raj Patel relayed the information to all human vessels, advising pilots to maintain positions and avoid direct engagement. Lieutenant Elena Torres monitored the feedback loops between Project Aegis and the alien systems, adjusting parameters to maximize disruption without risking Earth's own infrastructure. Every operator realized that they were witnessing an unprecedented event, a defense system that neutralized a far superior enemy without a single missile fired. The dreadnought wavered mid-flight, its shields flickering like a dying star. The smaller support vessels began drifting off course, some colliding with debris from their own fleet. Reports reached Commander Vraxar that critical systems aboard multiple ships were failing simultaneously. Panic spread through the alien fleet, previously a picture of perfect coordination. The humans could see it in sensor readouts. Targeting arrays were offline. Propulsion systems intermittently cut out, and energy weapons misfired. The AI pulses had effectively taken control of the battlefield without a human hand touching the enemy. Human ships remained in defensive formations, avoiding unnecessary risks while Project Aegis worked. The Vanguard, Sentinel, and other support vessels communicated constantly, sharing real-time updates on enemy anomalies and adjusting positions as needed. Every pilot and officer understood that patience and coordination were now their greatest tools. Scientists aboard the orbital stations fine-tuned the pulse frequency, ensuring that interference with the Zarnoth fleet remained consistent and escalated with each second. The AI system was learning, adapting, and predicting the aliens' reactions faster than the humans could manually calculate. Commander Vraxar attempted multiple countermeasures, ordering the Oblivion to emit secondary energy waves to recalibrate the fleet's shields. But every attempt failed. The pulses from Project Aegis absorbed or deflected the counterattacks. Some alien ships experienced full system shutdowns, leaving them drifting uncontrollably. Human sensors picked up the failures in real time, and pilots adjusted formations to avoid accidental collisions. The alien fleet, once the most feared in the galaxy, now appeared helpless, reacting instead of acting. On Earth, civilians watched the sky in astonishment. Reports of alien ships losing control streamed across news channels and social media. Fear was still present, but a growing sense of hope replaced panic. People realized that the human fleet, combined with Project Aegis, was capable of defending the planet. Engineers and scientists celebrated small victories. Each system failure in the Zarnoth fleet confirmed that their preparation, ingenuity, and courage were paying off. Humanity had created a defense that even the most advanced alien force could not immediately overcome. Lieutenant Taurus observed critical disruptions in the Voidbreaker. Its propulsion systems cut out, and its energy weapons fired at random intervals. The Dreadnought followed, drifting as shields failed completely. Project Aegis pulses continued to expand, reaching deeper into the fleet's formations. Every pulse weakened the coordination of the Zarnoth ships further. Their tactical advantage, once absolute, was now gone. Human crews maintained focus, understanding that they were witnessing a turning point in history, a moment where intelligence, technology, and strategy overcame brute force. Commander Vraxar's frustration grew. He tried to rally the remaining ships, but their movements were increasingly erratic. The AI system had effectively predicted and countered every maneuver. Even elite alien pilots could not regain their previous effectiveness. On the horizon, Admiral Mitchell remained calm, coordinating with Captain Raj and Lieutenant Taurus, encouraging the human fleet to continue defensive measures while allowing Project Aegis to dominate the battlefield. It became clear that Earth's secret weapon was not just a shield, but an active force capable of neutralizing a technologically superior enemy. As seconds turned into minutes, more alien vessels faltered, drifted off course, or shut down entirely. The humans watched in awe as Project Aegis reshaped the battlefield. Commander Vraxar, realizing the extent of the disruption, ordered the fleet to halt offensive operations temporarily. Attempting to regroup, the humans seized the moment, maintaining positions and strengthening Project Aegis pulses. Every calculation, every adjustment, every decision reinforced the planet's defense. Humanity had not only survived the first major assault, but had turned the tide against the most feared alien empire in the galaxy. In an instant, the unimaginable happened. The entire Zarnoth fleet vanished from Earth's orbit, as if it had been erased from existence. Sensors aboard the USS Horizon, Vanguard, and Sentinel registered nothing. The hulking silhouettes of Oblivion, Dreadnought, and Voidbreaker were gone, leaving empty space where minutes before the most terrifying armada humanity had ever seen had hovered. Human operators stared at their displays in disbelief. The energy readings, the pulses, the malfunctions, all confirmed that the alien ships had disappeared without a trace. Admiral Sarah Mitchell allowed herself a brief moment of relief, but caution remained. Humanity had never faced an enemy like the Zarnoth, and their sudden disappearance did not guarantee safety. Captain Raj Patel and Lieutenant Elena Torres exchanged astonished glances. Their training had prepared them for battle, not for witnessing a fleet vanish before their eyes. On board the Horizon, every system was scanned, every sensor analyzed. Yet there was no evidence of cloaking technology or sudden warp jumps. It was as if the alien fleet had simply been pulled from the fabric of space. The human fleet maintained defensive positions, not daring to relax. Despite the absence of immediate threats, every pilot kept weapons ready. Every officer monitored energy readings. The mysterious disappearance raised more questions than answers. Had Project Aegis somehow forced the aliens into retreat, or was this a tactical withdrawal? Scientists aboard the orbital stations studied the fluctuations in energy fields, trying to understand how Project Aegis had interacted with the Zarnoth technology. Every piece of data pointed to one conclusion. Humanity's defense system had achieved something previously thought impossible. Commander Vraxar, aboard the Oblivion before the fleet's disappearance, experienced something unprecedented. His attempts to stabilize shields and restore weapon systems had failed. Communication with subordinate ships was sporadic and eventually lost. The pulse from Project Aegis had not only disrupted their technology, but had created a phenomenon that forced a sudden retreat. Every officer in the alien command structure was bewildered. Confusion and panic spread as ships drifted before disappearing. The retreat was not orderly. It was complete and instantaneous, leaving no trace of the once dominant fleet. On Earth, civilians watched live feeds and reports in awe. Fear transformed into astonishment and relief. News anchors struggled to convey the reality. The most powerful alien fleet humanity had ever encountered was gone. Entire cities erupted in cautious celebration. People cheered from balconies, offices, and streets. But there was also a quiet respect for the invisible power that had protected the planet. Project Aegis had demonstrated the sheer ingenuity and resilience of humanity. It had not just defended Earth, it had forced the enemy into retreat without a single human casualty. Admiral Mitchell issued orders to continue monitoring the skies, maintaining a defensive perimeter in case the fleet returned. Captain Raj coordinated with all vessels to ensure no gaps remained in orbital coverage. Lieutenant Torres double-checked energy field stability, ensuring Project Aegis remained fully operational. Every human officer understood that the battle was not entirely over, but the scale of the victory gave a rare moment of confidence. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged unscathed. The empty space above Earth was both a relief and a reminder of how close they had come to annihilation. Reports came in from orbital satellites and planetary observatories, confirming the complete disappearance of all Zarnoth ships. Engineers studied residual energy signatures, detecting minor distortions left by the AI pulses. These anomalies suggested that Project Aegis had not only neutralized enemy systems, but had created a temporary spatial disruption, a new phenomenon that even the most advanced human scientists struggled to fully understand. The magnitude of this achievement was unprecedented. No planet in recorded history had defended itself against such an overwhelming alien armada with minimal human intervention. Commander Vraxar's fleet, wherever it had gone, had been forced to retreat into unknown regions of space. The humans had not destroyed the ships, yet they had ensured Earth's survival. Every human aboard the defensive fleet felt a mixture of relief, awe, and cautious vigilance. Admiral Mitchell reminded everyone that while the immediate danger had passed, the galaxy was vast, and the Zarnoth Empire would surely return. Lessons had been learned, strategies improved, and humanity's unity and ingenuity proven beyond doubt. The skies above Earth remained eerily calm. The usual hum of satellites and ships returned to normal, yet the knowledge that Project Aegis had achieved the impossible lingered. Every officer, scientist, and pilot knew that humanity had crossed a threshold. A new era of defense and technological capability had begun. The vanishing of the Zarnoth fleet was more than a victory. It was a statement to the galaxy. Earth was not a planet to be underestimated, and its people had the intelligence, courage, and technology to survive even the most formidable enemies. Investigations began immediately after the sudden disappearance of the Zarnoth fleet. Scientists aboard orbital stations and military analysts worked tirelessly to understand exactly what had happened. Every sensor reading, energy fluctuation, and anomaly was examined in detail. Data confirmed that Project Aegis had played a critical role. Its AI network, linked with Earth's magnetic field and energy systems, had not only neutralized the alien weapons, but forced the enemy fleet into retreat. The findings astonished everyone. Humans had achieved something no one thought possible, defeating a technologically superior force without a single direct strike. Admiral Sarah Mitchell convened a meeting aboard the USS Horizon with top human commanders. Captain Raj Patel, Lieutenant Elena Torres, and other leaders reviewed reports and sensor logs. The AI pulses from Project Aegis had disrupted the Zarnoth fleet's shields, communication arrays, and propulsion systems, effectively leaving them helpless. Even the massive ships like Oblivion, Dreadnought, and Voidbreaker had been disabled temporarily before disappearing. Scientists explained that the system had exploited a combination of planetary energy, advanced AI prediction, and timing, creating a force that the alien technology could not counter. Across Earth, news of the alien fleet's disappearance spread rapidly. Civilian fear transformed into cautious celebration. Governments praised the military and scientific teams for their bravery and ingenuity. Messages of relief and awe flooded social media. People were amazed that humanity had survived such an overwhelming threat. Schools and workplaces reopened gradually, but the awareness that humans had faced extinction lingered. Earth had survived against a power that had conquered countless worlds, and that knowledge instilled both pride and vigilance among the population. Military leadership recognized the importance of analyzing the incident thoroughly. Every lesson learned would be essential for future encounters. Lieutenant Torres compiled reports on the AI pulse frequencies and their interactions with alien technology. Captain Raj and Admiral Mitchell coordinated simulations to understand the potential limits and capabilities of Project Aegis. Engineers tested backup systems and redundancy measures, ensuring that the AI network could continue operating at full efficiency. Humanity had survived, but the galaxy was vast, and the Zarnoth Empire would likely return, prepared to challenge Earth again. The Global Defense Council issued statements reinforcing unity and readiness. Diplomatic communications emphasized that Earth had survived through intelligence, technology, and coordinated strategy rather than brute force alone. Alliances between nations strengthened as a result. A shared experience of near extinction had created unprecedented global cooperation. Scientists and engineers began planning upgrades to Project Aegis, exploring ways to expand its influence and integrate additional systems into orbital and planetary defenses. Humanity was no longer unprepared. On board the Horizon, Admiral Mitchell debriefed all human vessels, ensuring that every officer and pilot understood the tactical lessons from the encounter. Captain Raj emphasized the importance of coordination, trust, and communication, while Lieutenant Torres explained the technical details of Project Aegis and how its AI systems could be adapted for future threats. Crew members felt a renewed sense of purpose, their confidence bolstered by the knowledge that they had witnessed and contributed to a historic defense of their planet. Analysts worked to understand what had happened to the Zarnoth commander, Vraxar, and his forces. The aliens had not been destroyed, but their retreat was complete and sudden. Residual energy signatures suggested that they had been forced into a distant region of space, likely disoriented and weakened. Humanity's ability to repel such a fleet without direct combat would become a legend among scientists, military personnel, and civilians alike. The victory was not only survival, but also a statement of ingenuity, courage, and technological advancement. Earth's population began to prepare for the future, realizing that while one battle had been won, vigilance remained essential. Engineers, scientists, and military strategists collaborated to create improved defensive fleets, including vessels like the USS Vanguard II and USS Sentinel II, designed to complement Project Aegis and provide rapid response capabilities. Training programs intensified, ensuring that every crew member could respond efficiently to potential alien threats. Humanity had not only survived, but learned to adapt, innovate, and strengthen its defenses. Celebrations across Earth were tempered by careful planning and reflection. People marveled at the unprecedented achievement, yet military and scientific leaders reminded them that the galaxy was vast and threats could arise at any moment. The lessons of the encounter with the Zarnoth fleet became the foundation for a new era, one in which intelligence, strategy, and technology would define humanity's place among the stars. Earth had proven that it was no longer defenseless, and the people felt a profound sense of pride, confidence, and readiness for whatever challenges the universe might bring. Earth entered a new era after the sudden disappearance of the Zarnoth fleet. The planet's leaders, scientists, and military strategists recognized that humanity had survived a threat unlike any other. The Global Defense Council established permanent protocols for interstellar defense, using lessons learned from the encounter to strengthen coordination between nations. Admiral Sarah Mitchell continued to oversee the USS Horizon and the human fleet, ensuring that every ship, from the Vanguard II to the Sentinel II, was equipped, trained, and ready for any future threat. The AI system, Project Aegis, became a permanent part of Earth's defense, constantly monitored, updated, and improved by top engineers and scientists. Humanity's confidence grew, not through arrogance, but through knowledge and preparation. Diplomatic channels cautiously reopened with neighboring star systems, signaling that Earth was no longer an insignificant planet, but a capable and respected force. Scientific communities worked to study and understand alien technologies left behind, reverse engineering components and energy readings to develop new human advancements. Every breakthrough strengthened Earth's position in the galaxy, ensuring that humans would never again be caught unprepared. The population celebrated survival, yet vigilance remained. Schools incorporated lessons about the Zarnoth encounter, teaching young generations about unity, strategy, and technological innovation. Public broadcasts highlighted the bravery of pilots like Captain Raj Patel and Lieutenant Elena Torres. Civilian engineers contributed to expanding Project Aegis and planetary energy networks. Humanity realized that defense was not just the responsibility of the military, but of everyone working together. Admiral Mitchell and her team focused on fleet readiness, conducting large-scale simulations and drills, preparing for potential future encounters with alien civilizations. The Horizon, Vanguard 2, and Sentinel-2 served as command and coordination hubs, while smaller support ships patrolled orbital space, testing new AI-assisted combat systems and energy manipulation technologies. Lieutenant Torres supervised AI integration into fleet operations, ensuring that humans and machines could act in harmony during moments of extreme danger. Captain Raj Patel oversaw pilot training, emphasizing tactical awareness, rapid decision-making, and teamwork. Pilots learned to navigate unpredictable scenarios, respond to alien technology disruptions, and protect Earth's surface without relying solely on firepower. Advanced simulations incorporated lessons from the Zarnoth encounter, teaching humans that ingenuity, strategy, and adaptation could match and even surpass superior alien forces. Confidence in human ability grew with each successful drill. Scientists explored new technologies, inspired by observations of the Zarnoth fleet's advanced systems. Energy manipulation, AI prediction, and shield optimization became central to research. Project Aegis was upgraded with predictive algorithms capable of anticipating enemy movements. Scientists also investigated faster-than-light communication systems, interstellar sensors, and planetary defense grids. Earth's technology advanced rapidly, turning a moment of near extinction into a launching point for unprecedented innovation. Earth's leaders also focused on diplomacy, understanding that survival was strengthened not only by technology, but also by alliances. Communication with other star systems emphasized humanity's capability and willingness to protect its planet. At the same time, Earth projected a message of peace, showing that humans were prepared to defend themselves but not to provoke unnecessary conflict. Admiral Mitchell guided these initiatives, combining military readiness with strategic diplomacy, ensuring that Earth would be respected and feared in equal measure. Every human understood that the galaxy was vast, and threats could return at any time. Yet the encounter with the Zarnoth fleet had shown that humanity could face the impossible and survive. Civilians, scientists, and military personnel all contributed to a renewed sense of global unity. The world had learned that preparation, intelligence, and courage could overcome even overwhelming odds. Project Aegis symbolized humanity's ingenuity, while the coordinated efforts of leaders and crews represented its determination and resilience. As Earth expanded its defenses and technological capabilities, the planet became a symbol of strength and hope. Neighboring civilizations took note. Realizing that Earth was no longer a vulnerable planet, but a formidable power, humanity had evolved from a solitary world into a player capable of holding its own in the interstellar community. Every ship, every AI system, every human skill contributed to this transformation. Confidence and vigilance became the guiding principles, preparing the planet for whatever challenges might come next. Earth's people celebrated their survival while preparing for the future. Remembering the lessons of the Zarnoth encounter, humanity's place in the galaxy had changed forever, from fear and vulnerability to ingenuity, strength, and strategic dominance. Project Aegis remained operational, the fleets constantly trained, and humans continued to innovate. Earth had proven itself as a force capable of defending not only its own planet, but its ideals. Its people now stood ready, united and confident, prepared to face the universe with courage, intelligence, and unwavering determination.